At 00:52:43 UTC, the Bhangmeter tripped. For 47 milliseconds, Vela 6911 saw two sharp pulses over the South Atlantic near the black water between Bouvet Island and the Prince Edward Islands. That pattern had a reputation. A small first flash, then a larger second flash, separated by the gap expected when a fireball cools and the shock front clears. In the Vela program, that shape meant one thing. At first, the case looks mechanical. Vela 6911 was old, one sensor had already failed, and space hardware ages in silence. If a worn instrument glitched, the mystery ends before it starts. But the trace does not behave like random noise. The first spike rises fast, the second broadens exactly where a nuclear air burst should broaden, and the timing fits a yield in the 2 to 3 kiloton range. The clean answer already has a crack in it. That crack opens wider when you check the satellite itself. Vela carried bangmeters for one job only: catch the double flash of an atmospheric nuclear detonation. You are no longer asking whether a light appeared. You are asking whether the one instrument built to recognize this pattern somehow invented its own signature. Washington moved quickly and carefully. The Carter administration assembled an ad hoc panel under Frank Press, placed the signal on the table, and asked for a verdict that could survive both physics and politics. The panel split along a hard seam. Luis Alvarez and Jack Ruina argued artifact, a false event born from sensor debris or a micrometeoroid strike. Vela engineers, the people who knew the hardware bolt by bolt, leaned the other way. That division matters more than the headline. Outside experts questioned the flash from theory. Inside engineers defended it from experience. The investigation shifts from what the satellite saw to which kind of authority you trust when the paper trail forks. Then another clue drifts in from the sea. On September 22nd, an Israeli-South African shipborne intercept reportedly captured signals consistent with a nuclear event in the same broad region. A single satellite no longer stands alone, but the intercept arrives wrapped in fog. The reports surfaced through intelligence channels, not a neat public archive, and the details remain thin where certainty needs thickness. The second clue supports the first, yet it also inherits the same problem: access. There were other fragments: hydroacoustic hints, weather sampling debates, sheep in Australia with traces some linked to fallout, then counter-arguments about distance, wind, and contamination. Each scrap points toward a blast, then slips under handling. Midway through the file, the strangest detail is not the flash. It is the refusal. No state claimed the test, no flag was raised, no proving ground was named, and no government stepped forward to own a detonation that the signal seemed to describe. That silence narrowed the list while making the politics denser. South Africa and Israel entered the frame because of geography, capability, and quiet strategic ties. Yet suspicion is not custody, and inference is not a signature on an order. For decades, the official story hovered in suspension. The public heard artifact. Maybe not. Unresolved. Inconclusive. The event became a sealed drawer in nuclear history, labeled, reopened, and never fully emptied. Then a later paper changed the temperature of the room. A 2018 Declassified Department of Energy memo stated the event was most likely a nuclear test. Not proven beyond dispute, but no longer balanced neatly on the old fence. That sounds like closure until you place it beside the first fracture. If the most likely answer is a real detonation, then the harder question is not what the Bhangmeter saw. It is how a nuclear test could pass into history with a signal trace, a government panel, a declassified memo, and still no admitted author. So the 47 milliseconds remain on the record like a burn mark. One satellite flashed, one ocean sector lit, one pattern matched the textbook, and the world answered with hedged reports and shut mouths. The mystery is no longer whether there was a blast. It is what kind of system can register a nuclear explosion and still leave the guilty hand unnamed.